Hold up. Wait a minute.
This is Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
Let's take a trip around the curve. Hey, everybody. How you doing? It's your girl, Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Film Critic. Yes, I decided to put on some lipstick for y'all today. I look a mess. Wait, what's going on? Okay, wait. There we go. Had to get that part together. What's happening, y'all? What's going down? I think I got some people in the chat room already. Of course, my boy Brandon is in the house, and he is telling me that he can't wait for the next movies, Wild Robot and Transformers 1. Me neither. If this is your first time joining me, give me a big thumbs up to let me know you are here. And you have tuned into the Curvy Film Critic with Carla Renata. And I am who? Carla Renata. So welcome, y'all. Thanks for popping by. I appreciate you. So I usually start out the podcast with what I did the week before and whatnot, and what shenanigans I had going on. And so I will do that. So I think it was last Sunday, right after I finished the podcast, I went over to Santa Monica to the Hulu presentation that they have. They have this thing on Sundays in the summer called Summer Poolside Cinema, and it's hosted at the Fairmont Miramar Hotels and Bungalows. And what they do is they set up a screen outside the pool area with a little bit of food like this right here, little nosh, little salad, little brownie situation, some tacos, some pizza. And they set it up outside by the pool area so that way guests can attend and people can come into the poolside cinema and attend. And they show like an old school movie. And that particular night, they were showing Independence Day. And I realized I had not really seen Independence Day. I'd seen snippets of it here and there when it comes on television, but I really had not seen it in its entirety on a big screen in a really long time. So I took my mom and we went over there and we popped over to that. So in case you have an opportunity, if you are in the Los Angeles area, that link right there will take you to get all the information about the poolside cinema. That link right there will take you right to it, and you'll get everything that you need to know about it. Okay, everything that you need to know about it. I'll just let that scroll for a minute, so that you guys can have that to look at. All right, and that is it. So we're gonna get rid of that scroll right there. We're going to go back to the show. So I did that. And then last night, again, I realized I hadn't been to the ballet. I think the last time I went to a ballet is when I was in college in DC and I went to see Alvin Ailey or another or Dance Theater Harlem. I think that's the last time I saw ballet. And I remember I was so excited to see it because there were ballerinas that looked like me. They had full hips, they had thighs, they had a chest. The guys were nice and buff. And so did Ballet Hispanico for their presentation of Doña Perón at the Music Center last night. It was a musical telling through dance of Eva Peron, i.e. Evita. And I wanted you guys to see this picture. The chick in the yellow is playing Eva Peron, and those men dancing with her are reminiscent of either, I can't remember if it was either Che or if it was her husband, Juan Peron. But look at how these men look. They don't look like your typical ballet dudes. She don't look like your typical ballet doll. She's got some muscle in them thighs. She got a little bit of chest happening, and everybody was brown, and I was there for all of it. And then I went over to the Cherry Picks and I did an interview with Megan Good for her new film, Tyler Perry's The Divorce in the Black, which is screening on Netflix right now. That is the link to the interview in case you want to check it out. You can screenshot it and go over there, or you can just go to YouTube and hop onto the Cherry Picks site and you'll be able to see our interview in full regalia there. But I did that and I'm laughing not because it's funny, but because one of my friends reached out to me this morning and said that the film got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Why do people do that? The film is not that bad that it needs to get a 0%. That's just mean. That's mean. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it, but I think that that's just mean. But anyway, that's what I did last week. And so today we're going to get into these films. But before I get into them, I wanted to tell you about this film called Touch that I talked about once before. I reviewed it a couple of months ago, and it is a beautifully crafted film about a Japanese girl and this white dude who fall in love during the war. And there's a whole bunch of other things that get revealed in the process of it, but now it's in wide release and you can see it in theaters no matter where you are. The film is called Touch and it's produced by Focus Features. My Spy, The Eternal City, will be streaming on Prime Video on July 18th. It's directed by Peter Siegel. It stars Dave Bautista, Chloe Coleman, Craig Robinson, Anna Faris, Kristen Shaw, and Ken Jeong. And I went to the premiere of this and had the best time ever. I had such a good time. And I really enjoyed this film. Now, what I didn't know going into it is that this is a sequel to My Spy, which premiered in March of 2020. And apparently, when the film premiered in March of 2020, it opened, and then like 2 days later, it opened in theaters, and 2 days later, COVID hit, and it was done. But at some point, it was re-released virtually. My nose is itching. It was re-released virtually, and it ended up becoming the number 3 streaming film of 2020. So it went from closing in theaters to becoming the number 3 film worldwide in 2020. So now here comes the sequel, The Eternal City. And basically the gist of it is JJ, I heard something beeping. Let me turn that off so that that's not happening. JJ, who is Dave Bautista, he is a veteran CIA agent, and he reunites with his protege, Sophie, who is played by Chloe Coleman. Got it? Okay. So, in order to prevent a catastrophic nuclear scheme aimed at the Vatican in Rome, in Italy, which disrupts a high school choir trip to Italy, they kind of join forces to kind of stop that from happening. This film was so much fun. It was very energetic, very high octane action sequences that I really love. But what I really loved is that it sort of reminded me, it was kind of like if Sister Act was became a spy comedy thriller. It was like if Sister Act became a spy comedy thriller, it would be My Spy, The Eternal City. That's what it would be. I think it's a great film to take families to see. Like I said earlier, it's really a lot of adrenaline. And like I said, I had a great time, especially when I hopped on that red Vespa. There's a picture of me on the red Vespa on my social media, on my Instagram. Go check it out. It is hilarious. Um, and Anna Faris. So let me tell you my story about Anna Faris. A few years back, I was a recurring guest star on a show called Living Biblically for CBS. And in the area where we would shoot at CBS, not CBS, we would shoot at the Warner Brothers lot. Where we shot at the Warner Brothers lot, the area in which we shot, our stage was located. Mom also shot there with Anna Faris and Allison Janney. So I would see them in the hallway all the time. And Anna was always asking me to come do her podcast. And for whatever reason, it never really worked out. And I never got to be on the podcast. Wink, wink, Anna. But she plays this character in My Spy, The Eternal City that is just deliciously diabolical, and I am there for every last bit of it. She's so wonderful in it. I loved her being evil, and I always love seeing people that do comedy step out of their comfort zone and do other things, mainly something that's straight or evil or diabolical. She was fabulous, and so was Ken Jeong, because we're so used to seeing Ken Jeong be goofy and funny, but Ken Jeong is a really fantastic dramatic actor, and I'm hoping that he has more opportunities to do that, because he's actually really stellar at it, and I would love to see him expand his portfolio, just like Anna has done with hers in the more dramatic lane. The film was shot in South Africa and Italy, and it isn't anything that we haven't seen before in terms of this, you know, spy thriller comedy thing. It's nothing different, but it is a lot of fun. Did I say it was a lot of fun? It's a lot of fun. Um, I love the guys in it. I love Dave Bautista. I love Ken Jeong. I love Craig Robinson, all the guys that were in it, but the girls were kicking ass. The girls in this film were holding it down, and they weren't waiting for some guy to come save them. They weren't waiting for some guy to give them permission to shoot a gun or kick somebody's butt with some jujitsu, honey. They went in and did it full throttle. So that's what I have to say about My Spy, The Eternal City. It will be streaming on Prime Video on July 18th. Having said that, Longlegs is a straight up horror slash thriller that is in theaters right now. It is directed by Oz Perkins. It stars Nicolas Cage, Micah Monroe, and Blair Underwood. And it deals with Micah is pictured in that photograph right there. And it deals with Micah, who is FBI agent Lee Harker. And she's assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker also discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again. This film felt very much like a if Silence of the Lambs is twisted and and uh crazy, this is even crazier. It's like this was kind of like it felt like a twisted thriller, different version of Silence of the Lambs is what it felt like. And it was scary. Like it wasn't like scary, you're gonna jump out of your skin scary, but it I jumped enough times that it scared me. And y'all know I am not the one for horror movies. I will go see something that is considered a thriller because this is more like a psychological thriller than it is a horror movie, which is why I went to see it. Nicolas Cage plays the person who is the protagonist in this film, and he is creepy as hell. He's unrecognizable and very creepy. And I feel like he does well living in this lane of characters, kind of like he's really wonderful at playing these very tortured, mentally tortured, psychologically tortured individuals, kind of like the character he played in Moonstruck, but like to the 1000th degree in the other direction. The film is worth it just to see his performance alone because he is freaking nuts. Blair Underwood, my lovely Blair Underwood, is in this. He's taking another turn, taking some chances in his career, being in a horror movie. And you know what? He kind of stepped out of his comfort zone, and I was there for that. Okay, Blair Underwood, I see you. There's some very interesting camera angles that Oz Perkins takes. There are some really unusual uses of red and white. So, like at the beginning of the film, the screen is completely red and then it goes to black and white, and it only comes into focus and goes into color when we see the little girl Lee Harker sitting at a desk. She is the only thing that comes into color. And then the houses are white, and it feels it's funny because it feels like the film is mostly black and white. Like you see little drips and drabs of color here and there, but not too much. Um, the film is scary, and it has a turn and a twist at the end that some people won't see coming and some people will. It kind of depends on how you watch the film and interpret the film. But the film is called Longlegs. It's in theaters now, and I highly suggest you check it out because I rather enjoyed it myself, if I'm being honest. Simone Biles is going back to the Olympics, y'all. She has a documentary that is coming to Netflix on July 17th. It is called Simone Biles Rising, and it is called that because Simone Biles is a huge fan of the poet Maya Angelou and her film And Still I Rise. It's like a creed for her. She is a gymnastics superstar. And so this documentary deals with the moment that she withdrew from the 2020 Tokyo Olympics due to mental health concerns. Now, after a hiatus, she's embarked on a journey to rebuild her skills, her gymnastic skills, because when you have, I'm going to come back on camera so you can see me. When you have something that they call the twisties as a gymnast, I used to do gymnastics. When you get the when I was younger, I know I don't look like it now, but trust me, I did. When you get the twisties, it throws your sense of balance off, and it throws it off to the point where you can't flip your body in a way to land in a specific spot. So she got the twisties really bad during the 2020 Olympics, and she was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm going to leave. I'm going to take some time for my mental health. We saw Naomi Osaka do the same thing. We saw one of the Williams sisters do it. I think it might have been Serena not too long ago. And what people fail to realize is glorified as the world of sports and entertainment are, as glorified as these athletes are, especially the ones who compete in the Olympics and walk away victorious with medals, or victorious at the fact that they were able to compete and represent their country, whatever country that is. It comes with a tremendous amount of pressure that you cannot even imagine takes a toll. And stress kills, y'all. Stress is a viable killer, like any other disease, like cancer, like Alzheimer's, like any other disease. Stress can kill. So when you have that kind of stress and you don't have the support, or you don't have enough common sense to go, you know what, I need to just take a step back and figure this out for a minute. And so kudos to her that she took a step back and she decided to figure out if this was something that she wanted to do anymore, because she did qualify. I think just a week or two ago, she did qualify to do the Paris Olympics. So she's doing it again. She's in the Paris Olympics this year, 2024, and she's 27 years old. So she is probably the oldest person to compete in that arena in quite some time. I know there's a specific amount of years, but I'm not sure how many years it is. I think it might be 70 years, I think. I think it might be 72 years or something like that, but I'm not sure. So I don't even want to say that. But my point is, Simone Biles is one of the fortunate few, because she has a very supportive family that supports her. They don't let her give up on herself. During the course of this documentary, we see that. We see her reveal personal information that fans may not know about her, but it speaks a lot to her character and to her. And it basically leaves us with the message of the best is yet to come from Olympian gold medalist Simone Biles. So it's very inspirational. It's 2 episodes. It's a documentary series, 2 episodes that start streaming on Netflix on July 17th. The Lady in the Lake is a series that is streaming on Apple TV Plus right now. It stars Natalie Portman, who is all over there to the right of your screen if you're facing the computer, and to the left is a young lady named Morgan. Morgan is a beast, and I don't want to talk about Morgan and what she's doing in the series because I want you to watch it. It is a gorgeously done series that is directed by Alma Har'el. That is Morgan and Natalie there. When you see the series, this photograph right here will make a whole lot of sense to you. But what I'm going to do right now, without further ado, is I'm going to get into some interviews that I did with the director, Alma Har'el, and 3 of the brothers in the series: Byron Bowers, who plays Slappy; Yalan Noel, who plays one of the police officers; and Josiah Cross, who plays Reggie. So take a look and a listen with this interview from the cast and director of The Lady in the Lake on Apple TV Plus. You guys, I really loved this series, and I loved seeing you guys together. I'm a fan of all of your works individually, so it was nice to see you collectively do your thing, which brings me to this question. You guys had all these scenes where it was, either Reggie with Cleo, or Ferdy with Cleo, or Maddie, or, Slappy with Cleo, but then there was that one time that y'all got to do it together. Tell me about that.
Oh man, I think me and Byron always talk about this day, because the day was just insane. There was the preacher.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
He set the tone. The prophet.
Yeah.
He set the tone for that day, and I think it was kind of like that first time, like as an ensemble. Like we all kicked it and hung out, outside of work, but to finally be on the court all together, I think it was powerful, and that scene itself was just extremely powerful with the subject matter of what the scene was.
Yeah, to be in a space where you get to share the space with actors that you respect and dudes that you rock with is interesting too, because like I'm coming in and I'm not necessarily met with the same sort of love that we might have amongst each other. So that was fun, but also a challenge because there's a distance there that I got to see my brothers act against. It was
real time.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I think for me it was, and don't take this in a sad way, but I remember that vibe, that church vibe. I brought Alma, to my father's funeral, and in Athens, Georgia, small town Georgia, and then to see that vibe recreated, of what a soulfulness that she picked up from this. This style of church, which is rare sometimes to see reproduced, if it's not us, So to me that, and then having all of us there, and then being able to play, because that was a long day. So that's what made it memorable for me, and that was one of our scenes that we really. I think it really had dialogue.
It felt like we was really at church.
Yeah.
Swear.
That's what it felt like.
It felt like we really was at church.
Yeah, so it was cool.
I love that. Real quick, tell me if you are a fan of true crime and what's your favorite thing to watch.
Oh, I'm a big. That's all I watch. I'm not gonna lie. They just dropped a new season of My Worst Roommate Ever on Netflix.
Oh,
I love that show.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
y'all?
like real crime.
like
I know criminals. I know criminals.
TV show.
Oh, TV show? No, I mean.
Who your favorite criminal?
Who's your favorite criminal?
Man, let me see. No, just playing. But
The Long Short Strangler.
So, safe crime. I'm a fan of safe crime.
Okay.
Like
All
Bitcoin
right.
hackers and
I
stuff like that.
Tearing the tag off a mattress type thing. Yeah. That's
I
criminal
love how
activity.
y'all said y'all know true criminals in real life.
Yeah.
That's pure comedy right there. I wish I had more time with you guys. You're very wonderful to talk to. I appreciate you taking time for me today. And again, really brilliant work in The Lady of the Lake. It was absolutely stellar, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens for y'all after this. Like I said, I'm a fan.
Thank you
so much.
it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I was riveted by this project. So much so, and didn't realize it was partly based on a true crime
Inspired,
story.
yeah. The book itself by Laura Lippman was inspired by true events, one of them being a murder that was never solved and was very much, still remains a mystery.
Yeah, I was fascinated by that. But even more so than that, I was fascinated by the soundtrack. And I was fascinated by the fact that there was a lot of whistling used as kind of like the theme for the piece, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to know what was the choice to do that, because it was gripping, and it was almost like its own character, so to speak.
Yeah, wow. Nobody asked me this question today, and I'm so
Good.
excited to answer it, because I have always watch television, obviously, and the thing that always really gets me is a good theme. It's like a good theme. Like, it's almost like a Pavlovian response where, like, your whole body gets excited to watch the show when you hear the theme. That's the kind of theme I wanted to get. And if you believe it or not, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, I was walking down with my dog in Griffith Park when I heard a whistle. And that whistle had to put a spell on me. I had to follow that whistle. It was so incredibly powerful. started to follow this whistler who I had no idea who he is, and followed him for almost 10 minutes listening to him whistle, and then approached him and said, hey, I'm sorry, I'm kind of stalking you at this park. And he said, oh, that's okay. And I said, you're an extraordinary whistler, and can I have your number? Maybe one day we'll do something together. And took his number, and then cut to 5 years later where I hit him with a text, if you can come and whistle the theme for my show. So that's how that came together with our incredible composer, Marcus Norris, who is the founder of Southside Symphony. It's an orchestra you should follow of all black musicians, classically trained, but from a background of jazz, and just an incredible, symphony. So he is the one that put it together using the whistler from the park, Jorge, who I adore. And thank you for mentioning it and asking about it.
Oh, yes. Of course, I was going to ask you about that. And I also wanted to ask you about using some black photojournalists to inform the piece, because 1966 for black people is a very, very specific time.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to get your thoughts about how you wanted to do that in order to inform Cleo's point of view, and as opposed to Maddie and Tessie's at that particular time in history.
Yeah, such an important pivotal moment in America at large, but for like you said, black folks specifically, and obviously the events of 1967 that has led to really a change in Baltimore that till this day is the reason we don't know about the history of Baltimore, and what a center it was for culture and for music. And this show is in many ways a love letter to a lot of black music and jazz, and specifically black women, musicians and singers who have, I think, changed my life. And I don't know who I would be without Nina Simone, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu. The list goes on and on. I think that I've just learned so much from these women, Sade, and they have made me understand the limitations of my own experience of this life. They made me deepen my experience of this life. They have soothed my soul in times of hardship. And so this show in many ways is a love letter to them.
You're a deep doll, Alma. You are a deep doll, which makes you a profound director. I love your work, and
so
I
sweet.
am a fan. But I would be remiss before I say goodbye to tell you how fabulous that top is, that jacket.
Thank you.
It is fantabulous.
Oh, thank you, man. That's by an artist. She hand-painted all of it, 69 Tears. I love these guys. I'm a huge fan of them.
I love that jacket. Well, thank you so much for your time. That's my time. But I'm looking forward to the moment that I get to talk to you again. I really enjoyed
Me too, and
our
I'm so happy you emphasize the things you did, and thank you for hopefully spread the word and let people know the things you notice, because your point of view is special.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Peace.
You too.
When I tell you, when Alma Har'el told me, this is way too much light going on. When Alma Har'el told me that my point of view was special, it almost brought tears to my eyes, because if I'm being transparently honest, I'm having a bad week. I'm having a really rough week for a variety of reasons, some personal and some professionally. And it is just wearing me out. But when she said that to me, it really kind of lifted my spirit. So thank you, Alma Har'el. If her name sounds familiar to you guys, she is the same person that directed a film a few years ago with Shia LaBeouf called Honey Boy. It got rave reviews, and her directing of that piece got critical acclaim. She was nominated for a lot of different awards, and she's a really wonderfully gifted director. Let me give you a little bit of context on The Lady in the Lake. I said Morgan, but I meant to say Moses Ingram. And Moses Ingram, if her name sounds familiar to you, or if she looks familiar to you, she played Jolene on the Netflix series, The Queen's Gambit, where she was nominated for an Emmy for that part. And the series takes place in Baltimore, and she's a homegirl from Baltimore, so that was great. She replaced Lupita Nyong'o, who was supposed to do the role originally, and due to scheduling conflicts had to dip out. So Moses took her place. And when I tell you Moses is the younger kids like to say, she's eating. This thing is eating everything off the plate. Okay, eating it. So this is the gist of the show. In 1960s Baltimore, an investigative journalist, played by Natalie Portman, is working on an unsolved mystery that clashes with a woman working to advance the agenda of the city's Black community, who is Cleo, who is played by Moses. Okay, so the protagonist ditches her husband and her big Pikesville, Maryland home to pursue a career as a newspaper reporter. She becomes obsessed with the unraveling the mystery of two separate killings, an 11-year-old Jewish girl named Tessie Fine and a bartender named Cleo Sherwood. That is the gist of this series. It is evocatively and beautifully staged by Alma Har'el. It's breathtaking. Please do yourselves a favor. If you are stuck in the house or you don't feel like going out because of the heat, turn on some Apple TV Plus and check out this series. It is really good. I want to thank my brother over at Black Tree Movies, saying that he's a Curvy Critic fan. I appreciate you, and you got a fan in me too. Know this, okay? So that's it for this episode, you guys, of the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. When I come back in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be talking about a film that I saw at Sundance called Rob Peace. It was really wonderfully done. I'm going to be I'm going to be talking about a film called War Game, which also played at Sundance. I'm going to be talking about a film called Widow Clicquot. You know that Veuve Clicquot champagne that everybody drinks, the one with the orange label and the nice little ribbon on it that everybody loves to drink, and that's really expensive. It was produced and invented by that woman right there. Yes, and I have her whole story. I'll be talking about Dee Dee. I'll be talking about Cirque du Soleil without Annette next week. It is a new documentary from one of my favorite documentarians, Dawn Porter. And of course, Universal Pictures is hitting the screens with a sequel to Twister called Twisters. I'll be talking about all of those films in the next couple of weeks, and wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of it. But until the next time, give me a big thumbs up to let me know you were here. Click that bell for notifications if you were on the Twitter. Again, these are the films that we talked about that I am suggesting that you go see. Please check out Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. It's not as bad as people say. Check out My Spy, The Eternal City. Check out Touch. Check out Longlegs. Check out Miss Simone Biles, who has a documentary on Netflix called Rising. And last but not least, The Lady in the Lake over on Apple TV Plus. What is somebody saying to me? Keep my head up, sister. Okay, I'm going to put this on the screen because you about to make me cry. Storms come and go. New week to look forward to. I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you popping into the podcast to tell me that. I really do. Thanks. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. See, my eyes are all red. You got me crying. What the hell, Jamal? What the hell? I'm so not happy about the fact that I'm schwitzing right now. But anyway, thank you. For all of the reviews that I write, because I always write the reviews that I talk about here on the podcast, you can go to my website, thecurvyfilmcritic.com, which is scrolling on the bottom of the screen right now, and check them out. I'm a little behind. I'll catch up on all of them this week. And the ones that I talked about today, those reviews will either come out the day before I said they're going to be released, or they'll come out a couple of days before. Sometimes I do it a day after because sometimes I just get swamped. It's just me over here. But yes, just go to thecurvyfilmcritic.com to check that out. And yeah, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're in a really funky place in America right now. Some really strange things are happening. I believe the president is doing a press conference right now. So I'm going to dip out so I can watch the tail end of that and see what's going on with this country that I'm living in. But thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and watch me. I appreciate you. I appreciate every click, every like, every comment, every whatever. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. So until then, love, peace, and hair grease and deuces. Until the next time, see ya. Bye.